and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been slammed. Slammed by Louis van Gaal, that tactical genius, that great ex-Manchester United manager. I tell you what though, the interesting thing is, he's made me very, very mad in relation to some of the things that he's come out with, but in another way, he has spoken a lot of sense, which I think confuses some people in general society, because I've basically put a tweet out off at Matt Galbridge slagging off Louis van Gaal, and I've had some people coming back at me going, wow, he's not wrong, Mark. Actually, he speaks a lot of sense. Well, let's cut through the crap. He is slating our current manager. He says that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a park the bus merchant, in a sense, and is just the same as Mourinho, and all the good work United are doing now is because of Jose Mourinho. So, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. In fact, look, here's a life lesson for you. Some people will come out with good things from their mouth, and sometimes they will speak shit. That is life. That is probably 99.9% of people. Just because Van Gaal said something good doesn't mean he's full of shit. And that's basically what I'm saying. Look, here's two opinions for you from my mouth. David De Gea is the best goalkeeper in the world. Everyone's thinking he knows what he's on about. Jordan Henderson is misunderstood and is one of the best centre defensive midfielders in the world. Total crap. Those two things could come from my mouth. I don't believe that about Henderson, but good opinion, bad opinion. And that's what Van Gaal's done. He's come out with some very, very interesting things about Manchester United. He called us a commercial club, not a football club. Thumbs up. Very interesting. Want to get into that. He also spoke about his use of youth. And the fact that 5 minutes under Mourinho and 10 minutes under Ole, that's not developing youth. He did develop youth. Tick, tick. Those two things, absolutely fine. But a lot of what he's come out with in this interview with Simon Stone in the BBC, absolute nonsense. And basically what he said is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Mourinho came in and parked the bus with counter-attacking football, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing the same but getting results. And you've got some people saying, well, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. What a crock of shit. Like, I can't... Get yourself down, Specsavers, or at least turn the telly on and stop listening to football on the radio. Use your eyes to see what's going on at Manchester United. I have never heard such absolute bitter crap from an ex-manager of Manchester United. Ridiculous. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a park-the-bus manager. My God. I have concerns about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager because he is inexperienced, but he is never not and never will be a part-of-the-bus manager. His weakness could be the fact that actually he goes a little bit too gung-ho. His style of football, the way he goes, does it suit the squad that we've got? That's the concern. But to call him a part-of-the-bus manager, Van Gaal is not watching Manchester United play under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He is not watching him at all. I mean, look, there's a couple of games. Look, of course, there has been games where we've had to play defensive. You don't go to Paris with Scott McTominay, Andres Pereira and Fred as your midfield and go, let's high press and move the ball around, because they haven't got the ability to do that. Of course, we did sit back against PSG and effectively, okay, I would say, we sort of did park the bus for that one game. But he's been in charge for how many games has he been in charge now? I don't know. A lot. And somebody even said the Spurs game. Look, the one thing I would say about Manchester United is, look, you can be a defensive football team. You can be. But parking the bus, this is from a man who fell on his arse with a clipboard and made our club look stupid. This is from a man who at home made Chris Smalling and Daley Blind look world class. And people still talk about Blind and Smalling as this great centre-back partnership. They were brilliant as a centre-back partnership because they had two centre defensive midfielders playing in front of them at home. Like, he would always play two CDMs, whether it was Fellaini and Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger, or Herrera in there. He played with two centre defensive midfielders. He's trying to, he's trying to convince us that his style of football was good and easy on the eye. It was boring. I mean, I've had this argument with a few United fans who think that Van Gaal was better than Mourinho. Arguably just, but I tell you what, it's wafer thin. It's wafer thin ham. It's that thin. The football, like when we were doing watch-alongs for Van Gaal, no word of a lie, go and watch them. After 10 minutes, we were talking about our favourite packets of crisps, what's the best dunkable biscuit, what you're doing tonight. You know, it was not about the football. People were staying up worldwide from Asia and America, and they were like struggling to stay awake. It was dull. I mean, this is rose-tinted glasses. Where are they? Where things in the past, you forget how bad they were. But Van Gaal was terrible. A terrible manager for Manchester United. Or arguably, he probably wasn't as bad as Mourinho, but it was still crap. I mean, this is a man who He bought Schweinsteiger when he was finished. He bought Schneiderlin, who was crap. He bought Di Maria and ruined him. He bought Falcao. He had a lot of money, and he didn't do that well. What he did do is he did give youth a chance. I'll give him a tick there, but I'm not having that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer plays part of the bus football. And you know what? I need the yellow pen for this. The way Manchester United play, and this is our best 11, right? You think about the Spurs game where Spurs had loads of chances against us. I'll put my hands up and say that game at Wembley in January, we were a little bit fortuitous. I think in the first half we were the better team. Rashford scored that very, very good goal. We played on the front foot. Second half, I think we tired. I think we were victims of, it was only the first month of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being manager. I think the players were still very tired in relation to the change from being a park the bus lazy team, which I'm going to come to in a minute, to a team that goes on the front foot. And Spurs came more and more into the game. But to say we parked the bus against Spurs, look, I watched the games. You watch the games. You know this. How many... I mean, can you remember that time when Dele Alli was running down here and Matic was trying to catch him but was going backwards? He was ending up that way. And De Gea made a great save. We weren't parking the bus against Spurs. You look at the chances that Manchester United concede. We do play on the counter-attack, but we play on the counter-attack because teams attack us and they get at us because we leave a lot of space. Matic gets exposed a lot with midfielders running at us. Ashley Young gets double-teamed. Shaw gets double-teamed a lot. We've been speaking about this. That's not, you know, people can say, oh, Van Gaal knows more about the fans because he's managed Ajax. And, you know, he's a great manager with a great Wikipedia page. But I'm fed up with this bullshit that everyone has to get down on hands and knees and bow to Lord Van Gaal and Lord Mourinho because they've got a great Wikipedia page. What they're doing is they're trying to spin their legacy to make themselves look relevant. We are not a park the bus team under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I will argue it with any pundit, any current professional footballer, any ex-manager. We do not park the bus under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We give a lot of chances away. Statistically, we give a lot of chances away because teams get at us, because we don't park the bus. The fullbacks get double-teamed. Matic gets runners running at him. The back four get runners running at them. We are not a park the bus team, and it is bloody disgusting that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, that Louis van Gaal is so bitter that he is having a pop at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. What's Solskjaer done to him? Nothing. He's come in, he's done a great job, and he's subject to that nonsense from Van Gaal. Oh, Solskjaer's just a part of the bus counter-attacking manager like Mourinho, but he's getting results. And actually, Manchester United have got a good chance of winning the Champions League because they're a defensive club. But that's all Mourinho's work. I mean, he must cry lemon water. He's so bitter. But the dangerous thing is, and the thing that gets me hyped up about this, the dangerous thing is that some Manchester United fans might start to believe it because he actually did speak some sense about the way the club's run and other things which we're going to come to. But don't for 1 minute buy into this nonsense that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer parks the bus. I mean, we've done this so many times. How do Manchester United play under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? He likes to pass out from the back. He likes his centre-backs to split. He likes his full-backs to bomb forward. He wants Martial to hug the touchline. He wants Pogba operating in this position. He wants these three to press. He wants him to be box-to-box, and he wants Matic to go like that. At what point is that part of the bus? You know what part of the bus is? It's what Mourinho did. Everybody back behind the ball. Everybody back behind the ball, and when you get the ball, side to side, move it slowly up the pitch and gradually gain possession. That's what you did under Mourinho. We do not do that under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's quick movement of the ball, it's triangles, it's moving on. It is not part of the bus football. Ryan Shah says, don't forget about Sancho, Fernandes and Koulibaly, and Solskjaer's getting managers this week. I think Woodward finally decided Van Gaal's a git anyway. Thanks for the contribution, Ryan. Luke Skywalker, who cares what a Finnish clown says anyway? Just waste of time and uninteresting. Let's focus on more important things like the next game. I mean, to be fair, Luke, there is some very good points that I want to discuss from Van Gaal's interview, but also I think it's very important as a fan community that we do discuss this, because there will be people out there who are blinkered. They'll read a good comment from Van Gaal about the way the club's run, and then they'll allow themselves to think everything he said is sensical when it's not. We've had another contribution from Sergio Hernandez. Louis van Gaal ruined Chicharito. He probably still had a good 2 years left at United. Nani as well. Exactly. Wasn't Van Gaal the person who sold Raphael, Nani, Chicharito, Van Persie and somebody else for about £17 million? 5 really good players. Welbeck. I don't think Welbeck should have been sold either. He let a lot of players go that never should have gone. There's rose-tinted glasses with Van Gaal. There really is. I won't trust a manager who played young as a striker. Phil Jones on corners. Under Van Gaal, we bored teams to death. That's why they lost, because they were bored. Forget Van Gaal and Jose. Well, I won't forget them. You know why I won't forget them? Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the manager I want for Manchester United, and I will back our manager. And I think he's been a breath of fresh air. You know that chewing gum you can buy, Airwaves, the menthol stuff, and you put one in your mouth and it blows your mind off. It's like putting all 8, put the whole packet in your mouth. That's what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is. He's blowing my head off with fresh airness. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and I will defend him. But I'll also defend anybody against bullshit. Like, he's not a part of the bus manager. It's so disrespectful. It is so unfair. And it is so wrong to paint, he spoke about Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes criticised Van Gaal because he played crap football. He criticised Mourinho because he played crap football. You don't start criticising Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he's turned the club around, he's playing good football, and he's doing it with Mourinho's bloody shit squad and some legacy of Van Gaal's squad. It isn't right. And you know what? The reason that Spurs and other teams have got at United in the second half of the games is because this squad is tired. Do you know why this squad's tired? Because it spent 2.5 years under Jose Mourinho on a bus, sat on their arse, playing on their iPhones. Because that's the standard of football we played. We used to come nearly bottom of the league for distance covered because we were a lazy, pragmatic park-the-bus team. You look at the distance covered. This is the thing about what Van Gaal's doing. It's wrong. Like, it is totally wrong. Look at the stats. United, 2 months ago, they did it in Solskjaer's first month at United. We were top of the league in Europe for distance covered from being nearly bottom of the league under Mourinho. These are facts. This is not stats. This is facts. He is trying to muddy the water because he is a bitter man about what Manchester United did. And I'll come on to that. And I sort of understand Van Gaal's bitterness because he doesn't think he should have been sacked. He'd won the FA Cup. Woodward apparently told him that he was sacked because he was only going to be there for another year and Mourinho was ready to be there for years and years to come. Look, Woodward's a problem. The board at Manchester United's a problem. I'll applaud Van Gaal on that. But his criticism of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think, is very, very unfair, very, very wrong, and very, very, very disruptive to what we're trying to do. And I think any United fan who is sticking up for Van Gaal for slagging off our current manager totally unfairly is wrong. Let's accept some of the things that he's talking about. All right, he might be right about that and we'll discuss it. But the talking about Solskjaer is totally and utterly unfair. What do you think about Madrid and Barcelona wanting Marcus Rashford, says Osmanani? They've got absolutely no chance. I never thought we'd be able to fight for top 4 under Mourinho, but Ole proved he can do the job, says Thielen Moodley. Exactly. And people saying Lingard is bad clearly do not watch United. He's one of the few players that can play one-touch football. Dylan Mack, you're right as well. And also, Lingard in a team that doesn't park the bus becomes a good player, as he has under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he likes to press, he likes to get after the ball, and he likes the one-touch football. I mean, look, you don't need me to tell you this. You've got your own eyes, but please don't fall into this trap of nonsense that we park the bus under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we don't. We might try and play defensive at times, but we don't park the bus because we're just not set up that way. And also, under Van Gaal and Mourinho, the legacy of that football, that was crab football. Side to side, too many touches. We don't do that. And we saw that from the very first game against Cardiff. Matic suddenly stopped taking 5 touches and going round in a circle and started playing 1 or 2. It's unfair. It's unfair, and we've got to be very, very careful about this because Ollie's at the wheel, says Ben Palmer, and he's doing a great job. But some of the things that that Van Gaal said that I will sort of talk about and be fair about. He did criticise. He said, look, if you're a youth development club, you've got to trust the youth. And he said 5 minutes under Mourinho is not trusting the youth. Well, I think Mourinho, we can all agree, was very, very poor. But he did say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 10 minutes here and there, that's not trusting your youth. And it's something, I'm going to be even-handed on this. I'm going to say, look, I think Van Gaal's spoken a lot of shit. But in relation to the youth, I must admit, I don't think Ole has used the youth enough. I think he's publicised using the youth. Oh, I've got James Garner, I've got Chong, I've got Gomez. But they've very rarely had much game time. And I think there has been opportunities, certainly in the early rounds of the Cup against Reading, where he could have used them a little bit more, and he hasn't. But maybe that's because he hasn't even got a job. If you were given the Manchester United job like he was given in mid-December, and you were told you're an interim manager, and they're doing a search for a new manager, and you're going back to mould in May, what do? Do you just go, yeah, I'm here for a holiday, this is great? Or do you go, no, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm going to do everything I can to get this job. I'm going to speak to the youth. I'm going to get them involved in the first team squad, but I'm not going to give them loads of time because I've got to win these games. And I think that, in fairness, is what Solskjaer is doing. So again, I think it's unfair from Van Gaal to judge Solskjaer as a youth developer. Mourinho, fine. He had 2.5 years. He gave us a big list of all these players that he developed, which was a load of nonsense, and he never did it. With Solskjaer, yeah, I don't think he has used the youth much at all, but I think he will. I think he definitely will. I think he gets that. I think it's more about, I've got 4 months to make an impact, and to do that, I'm going to have to go with the experienced players. So that was my thought on that. He also said in relation to Manchester United that Woodward's right-hand man shouldn't be a bank manager. It needs to be a football man. And I think, we all agree with that. Director of football is what he's talking about. We do need a director of football, and Louis van Gaal's correct about that. But then again, anybody who knows anything can say that. There's no rocket science there with that. He said that Manchester United is a commercial club, not a football club. And quite interestingly, he said that he spoke with this about Sir Alex Ferguson in the last few months, and Sir Alex Ferguson agreed with him that it was a problem. Again, it's not really rocket science. I think we all know that. I forget how many times I've said on these shows that, we're a bank, we're not a football club. This is a problem. And I think it doesn't surprise me that maybe Sir Alex Ferguson did have that conversation with Van Gaal. I think publicly he can't do that. He's on the board. But we all know that. I love Manchester United. You love Manchester United. A lot of us go to the games. A lot of us watch all the games. A lot of us buy the merchandise. We love the club. We're always going to love the club. But it doesn't mean we can't be pragmatically truthful about the club and say, look, we are being run like a business. We're not being run by like a football club. Of course not. Jose parts the bus, yes. But yeah, fundamentally, I think the biggest problem I had with what Van Gaal said is basically that nothing's changed under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer other than that we're winning games. Just absolutely, I suppose in some ways it's good because we've not had this for a few years. We've not had this for a few years where United we start getting people taking pops at us because we're doing quite well. We've got some bitter ex-managers. Moyes has been gobbing off the years. Van Gaal's obviously doing it now. And Mourinho will start doing it as soon as he's allowed to do it. Because let's not forget, when they get the sack, they normally have this couple of years where they've got to be quiet under the terms of their contract, where they get very, very well paid. They get sacked, but they get very, very well paid. And the reality is, I don't feel sorry for Van Gaal. I know he's saying, I don't really like the way I was sacked and this, that and the other, and I won an FA Cup with a noose round my neck. But I remember vividly being Van Gaal out from the Christmas before he was sacked. I was absolutely furious with what he was doing with the club, the way we were playing. I'd had enough with him. And I think some people, because we've had Mourinho and they look back on it with a little bit, I've had people saying over the last few months, it wasn't that bad under Van Gaal. It was. I absolutely despised it. It was boring football. He was an arrogant, strange man. He was as bad as Mourinho in the way he used to slate players in public. The football wasn't good enough. The results weren't good enough. I mean, let's not forget as well, you can criticise Mourinho quite rightly, but in Mourinho's time as Manchester United manager, he has been coming up against a very good Pep Guardiola Man City side. Van Gaal was in charge when Leicester won the league. I mean, that will never happen again. That won't happen again. You won't have the perfect storm of the top 6 teams all being shit and Leicester being able to go and win a Premier League title. That was anybody's title that year of the top 6 if they just grabbed a bit of consistency. But everyone was dreadful. But that was on Van Gaal's watch as well. He had an opportunity to win a Premier League and he wasn't able to get even close. The title of the show was the top 3 transfer targets, but we've changed it because of this Van Gaal interview that's just come out, so we'll do that for you tomorrow. And he lost to Wolfsburg in such a terrible way. I think, look, everyone's entitled to their opinion, of course they are, but I'm entitled to my opinion as well, and I'm not having Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being called a part-the-bus foot manager who's changed nothing at the club, is just getting results. I'm not having it. I'm not having it because it's beyond stupid. And from somebody with such a great Wikipedia page like Van Gaal, you're gonna get, if you want to speak publicly about stuff, you're gonna get it back. And he's absolutely wrong. Wrong. And while we're on the subject, you had loads of money and you failed. Well done for winning an FA Cup. I'll give you that. You know, you managed to do something that Mourinho screwed up last year, and we're not going to win the FA Cup this year. So well done, you won an FA Cup, and I'm, you know, genuinely well done. But the football, your tenure was massively, massively disappointing, and you're in no position. You're clearly not watching Manchester United play either. You're clearly being lazy and bitter, slagging off somebody who's doing a far better job than you. And as I said, and I've said this before, Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer are as good as we've been since Sir Alex Ferguson left. It's like the buzz, the excitement, the way we're playing football, the belief, the fan base, everything is as close as it's been to when Sir Alex Ferguson was here. And that is a massive, massive vindication. And you know what? Manchester United fans aren't stupid. Manchester United fans would not be excited and packing out Old Trafford and packing out the away allocation if the football was still crap. I tell you what, last autumn, you'd have got a ticket for Watford any day of the week. You can't get tickets for Watford at the weekend because despite 2 losses, everybody's engaged, everybody's excited because the football was exciting. I was at that one against Southampton a few weeks ago. You know, 1-0 down, 2-2, win it 3-2. At no point were people getting ready to leave early. At no point was there any moaning. Even though it wasn't United's best performance and we had a lot of injuries, there was genuine excitement about it and genuine belief in what's going on at United. And this is only the step forward. It's just a very bitter ex-manager and who's been handsomely paid and had a very, very good opportunity. Where's the fan cam? Zara Girl from LVJD's gone, says Bad Boy Emil. Thanks for the contribution. I think she works for, last time I knew, Zara works for Salford City. So yeah, that's what she's doing now. Sir Alex played counter-attack football, says Andrew Thompson. It's just very lazy, Andrew, to say that counter-attacking football is part of the bus. It's not. A lot of teams away from home will play counter-attack football. Part of the bus is putting everyone behind the ball, and we don't do that. We don't do that. Mark, I'm going to the game on Saturday, says Kieran McCrory. Anyway, let's give you a little bit we'll come back to that. Louis van Gaal is yesterday's man. Solskjaer is the future. We've got to back him, says John Wilkinson. Sacking Van Gaal was a mistake. We would have won the league by now, says Safe Raymond. We wouldn't. We would have fallen asleep now and be in a coma. We weren't going anywhere near the league under him. Mate, look, I lived it, mate. We all lived it. You're a bunch of hypocrites if you start saying Van Gaal shouldn't have been sacked. He was a good manager. I wish I had a time machine. I wish I had the DeLorean. We could just go back to 4 or 5 games around this time when Van Gaal, just before he was sacked, and everyone wanted him out. He was disgustingly boring and good riddance. And stop talking about our club. United 92. Czech didn't win at Barca but won the Premier League for Chelsea. Often it doesn't work out. Ex-Liverpool means Coutinho will know the depth of the rivalry, e.g. Tevez, Eto'o and Figo. He's obviously having his own chat there, but thanks for the contribution. I think he's talking about Coutinho. And Harry Jones says, Mark, it's life. People see as defensive. That's because on FIFA it's a defensive setting, but it's not. Well, people should not be judging current topics on FIFA, should they? But it was crab football, Sean Masri. It was crab football under Louis van Gaal. Anyway, let's talk about a couple of relevant topical things with Manchester United. Make sure you smash a like on the video, everybody. Anyway, lots of engaged opinion. I'm glad we're not actually doing a transfer show today, actually, because it's all been transfers over this international break, and we're now getting back into real football. So I'm grateful for Van Gaal at least for coming out with his interview, because it gets us back into talking about football again. The current, the real, what's about to come. Watford, Wolves, Barcelona, bring it on. This is what we want to be talking about on this channel. Tactics, how we're going to line up. Great, happy, super. Anyway, good news coming out of Manchester United. Martial, Rashford, Herrera, Lingard, Lindelof, Lukaku, Matic, Luke Shaw, all fit for Watford. That is the news coming out of Manchester United. All well rested, all didn't go on international break. We've used this international break very intelligently. We even got Rashford down for the first week to tap up Jadon Sancho, then got him back for a week to rest. So everybody well rested, everyone good to go. 2 massive games. 2 W's, hopefully. Wolves and Watford. Well, Watford and Wolves. We've got to take 6 points from those games. The top 4 race starts here. Pogba's done well on international duty. And obviously De Gea will be back as well. So fully fit squad. Let's go for it. We've got a massive April. And I think the best thing is as well, anybody who's carrying any niggles and everything like that, the great thing about beating PSG was that you've got this massive game against Barcelona. And the great thing about having that Barcelona game is, yeah, it'd be great to win the game, but going into April, what you don't want is tired minds. I think if we were out of the PSG game, PSG had knocked us out like they were meant to. You lose against Wolves and you lose against Arsenal. You have the international break. And I think people come into April a little bit tired. They're like, oh, God, this top 4 race, it's going to be tough. All the games we've got to play. I actually think the Barcelona game gives April that sort of excitement for the players where everyone will want to be involved in that game. Lionel Messi, best player in the world, playing at the new camp. Everybody's going to want to be involved. Everyone's going to be rejuvenated. Everyone's going to be excited. And I think, you know, whether people are carrying little knocks or anything, they'll keep that quiet because they want to be involved this month, which is a great thing for us because not only should it mean increased performance on the pitch, but it also gives Ollie lots and lots of options, which is great. Ryan Shaw says, thoughts on a lot of Manchester United players returning from injury, including Darmian and Valencia. What do you think Ollie will do? Well, thanks, Ryan. We were just talking about that. Thanks for the contribution. I don't think Darmian and Valencia will be involved, really. I can't see how they would be. Valencia's leaving. Darmian's leaving. Delot has been very, very good at a time when we needed him. So why... And Ashley Young obviously plays games, whether I agree it or not. But the reality is, Delot has proved himself when we needed him. So Darmian and Valencia should be way below him. So, yeah. Something very interesting as well. Obviously, I'm based in the Midlands. I was reading today that there is a possibility that Axel Twansibi will stay on loan at Aston Villa for another year. Now, I spoke about this. It was only my opinion. But I actually... And a lot of people are giving a lot of hype on Axel Twansibi. A lot of Villa fans really like him. A lot of United fans really like him. I really like him. But I have said for a few months now that I think that he will be on loan next season as well. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. The Championship is a very, very good place for a young centre-back to learn their trade. And, it's physical. It's fast-paced. There's a lot of games. He'll learn a lot at that level. And if he comes back to Manchester United... Is he going to be part of the first team? I don't think he will. I think another year for him, he's early 20s, another year for him playing regularly in the Championship is going to be far more beneficial than being part of the first team squad and getting a few minutes here and there. So I actually think Axel Twansibi on loan again is a great move. And I'd be very encouraged if United did that because I don't think he's quite ready to come back and be a Premier League centre-back yet. The best of both worlds would be he goes on loan to someone like Bournemouth and plays all season for Bournemouth in the Premier League. That would be good. But I think Villa would suit him as well. United 92 says, do you think Pogba and Herrera are in the right place with their comments over the break? We need everyone at 110% to get 24 out of 24 points. I don't think we're going to get 24 out of 24 points for a start. I think the Man City game might be a draw. I know that'll upset Liverpool fans, but I think that one's difficult. Chelsea, we've got to win. We've got to win all the other games. I think this international break needs to be over for many reasons. I think there's a lot of transfer talk, which we don't know what's going to happen in the summer. So I want this. I want the transfer talk. I want the transfer. I love the summer. I love the transfer stuff that we do. It's great. I'm really excited about it. But I want to park it and I want to get this. I want to get the season going. I think the transfer talk can have a negative thing. Herrera's talking about it. Pogba's linked to it. De Gea's not signed a contract. We're not playing games. Yeah, I agree. It's a bit of a negativity around the club. But I think the minute we kick off against Watford, we're training. The games are coming thick and fast. The Barcelona games, I think players will park that till the summer. And I think as a fan base, we need that as well. So, yes, I think the international break's been good for a rest. But in some ways, it's been a little bit uneasy because of all the transfer talk. But as soon as the games kick in, they're footballers. That's what they're there to do. Mark, do we need a right back, says Adam Tate. I don't think we'll sign a right back, to be honest with you. We are getting Josh King for 25 million, the Mirror are reporting, says JM. Not good enough, and I hope it's not going to happen. I think Griezmann, no. Van Gaal wasn't right for us. Jose Mourinho wasn't right for us, but gave those players a backbone because they got stronger from living in a world of pain that Jose put them in, and Ollie is the right fit, says Sean Fitzgerald. And are you still pissed for no reason, Mark? Because I am, as that question. He's obviously been watching. Tuesday for me, sometimes I'm just in a bad mood on Tuesday. I've actually been... I actually do my Going for Goldbridge where I answer everybody's questions on my channel, the Mark Goldbridge channel, which is on YouTube, which you should all be subscribed to. Why aren't you subscribed to it? Mark Goldbridge, give it a watch. But yeah, I was doing my Going for Goldbridge then. I was in a very, very bad mood. Very bad mood. But the worst thing about that is I was obviously in a bad mood for a reason because I finished that stream, instantly started getting a really bad sharp pain in my left eye, had a migraine, went to lie down and slept for like 3 hours. I never do that. I never do that. I've got so much work to do now because I wasn't meant to do that. But yes, I'm a firm believer that if you aren't in a good mood or you're feeling a bit down, you should always be speaking to people about it. So yeah, that's my little bit there. The board is killing the club, says Ollie Johnson. Yeah, I think that's the one thing I would agree with Van Gaal about. We'll run like a commercial club, not a football club. I'm not surprised by that. Why you do not do United Stand FC in some European league, not amateur pro? yeah, we're thinking of joining the Austrian league. Yeah, I think it would be very hard. I'm happy to play some friendlies against European teams. That would be interesting. But we have got the United Stand FC trials video coming up this week, actually, and I've had sight of the kit, which is coming out very soon, which is very exciting. Wraith616, where the hell do you get your opinion that Messi's better than Ronaldo? I prefer Ronaldo to Messi. I don't do the debate though because it's just a can of worms I'm not really interested in. I think we're very privileged and lucky to have these two players playing in our lifetime. In 10 years' time, I don't think we'll have a Ronaldo and Messi. I don't think we'll have a Ronaldo. I think the press will always build them up. But I don't think we'll get what Ronaldo and Messi have done for a few years yet. So we're blessed to have both. I just think Ronaldo's move to Italy has took the edge off his game a little bit. It's unfairly in some ways, but I think it has. And I think Messi sort of took the mantle up as the best player at the moment. But I love Ronaldo. I love Ronaldo. Pogba isn't going anywhere, says Vivek. You know what? This will get clipped. I'm not bothered. Paul Pogba's not leaving Manchester United this summer. There'll be people saying he is, and I'm sure we'll do videos about, is he going to go, isn't he going to go? But personally, not a United Stand opinion, Mark Goldbridge opinion, Pogba's not leaving this summer. No. I had this last August. 80% chance Paul Pogba's going to leave. If you say an 80% chance someone's going to leave, that means they're going to leave. 80% chance in football is not like, there's a 20% chance he won't go. He was nowhere near leaving Manchester United. Facts. He was no way leaving Manchester United last summer. This summer, I don't think he's going to leave either. I really, really don't. I don't think Pogba's going anywhere this summer. I think it's a nonsense, but it doesn't mean that it won't be on the agenda. If Paul Pogba comes out and says he wants to leave Manchester United, bye-bye. Off you go. Pack your bags. See you later. Not bothered. But he's a very good player. I really, really like him. I don't think he's going anywhere. And I'll back him until I hear him say he wants to go. And I don't think he will do. Sell Lukaku and play Rashford up top alongside Akin Fenwa, says Spar at 987. Like for like. Safe Ramen says 100% Pogba is leaving in the summer. Well, let's see, Safe. I mean, look, somebody said to me the other day, what percentage chance do you think that Jadon Sancho is coming to United? And I said, well, if I said 50-50, that's still quite good in football. If you start saying 80% chance, that means it's going to happen. Because 80% is a lot in football. Theo, I agree with you, Theo Moodley. De Bruyne is one of the few players that I would replace Pogba for, but we could never do that. Would you like Richarlison at Manchester United, says Rolf Faber? Not really. No, not really. I think he's an Everton player. That's it. I don't want Tony Kroos as well, Harry Needham. I totally agree with you with that. And sorry, this is a shout out at the end of the video. I made a mistake at the trials on Sunday. There was a player who was really good playing on the right wing, quite small. We even had a chat. You even did a selfie with me. If you are that player, can you email me? You've got the details. Email me because I can't find your name on the list, and I definitely want you to come back and be part of the team. But I can't email you. We'll have to do like a missing person thing. Small player, played on the wing in a blue bib, really good. You had a selfie with me. You hung around quite late actually, even when I was filming with Flex and Rants. But I can't remember what your name is. We need to track you down because I tell you what, he's a game changer. He's a good player, and we need him in the squad. We definitely do. I'm not related to Ed Woodward, King of PS. If I was, I'd give him a kick up the backside and tell him to start running the club like a football club, not a business. But yeah, I mean, just going back to what we were talking about, Van Gaal criticising Solskjaer's style of play and saying it's part of the bus. But going back to what Van Gaal was, Blind and Smalling were so good at United because he used to place 2 CDMs, 2 centre defensive midfielders, not one. He used to play 2 centre defensive midfielders at home, and we'd do side-to-side football. We didn't concede many goals under Van Gaal, and Smalling and Daley Blind looked like prime Baresi and Costa Curta. They looked absolutely brilliant. But I tell you what, I'd look brilliant at centre-back if I had 2 centre defensive midfielders shielding me. And that's what he used to do. 2 centre defensive midfielders. And he has the balls to say that his football is better than Mourinho's and Ollie's. Probably better than Mourinho's. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I just went into a daze there. I think it's this migraine. Oh, I'm glad to just get through the video, to be honest. I'm just going to get off and go and watch a bit of Made in Chelsea. I'm joking. But thanks everyone for watching. You've helped me through it. We did a good 40 minutes there as well. Lots of people watching. International break's over. Get back on the United Stand every night at 8 o'clock. Previews are coming in quick. We've got the United Stand FC trials. Very, very exciting news coming for you at the end of the week as well. I think you're going to love that. Probably on the Friday night show. Get involved with the United Stand. Subscribe, smash a like on the video. You're all absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed the video. My enduring message I want to leave with you is don't buy the bullshit that's going around about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It is unfair and it is wrong and it's got me mad. I think some of what Van Gaal said made sense, but to call Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a part-of-the-bus manager and to say nothing has changed is nothing short of bollocks, and we must not stand for it. Do not let it seep into your mind. Ole is the right man for the job. Even if he doesn't get the job, his football that he's played is not part of the bus. It really isn't. It just isn't. It's not how he plays. He plays a high press. He moves the ball quickly, and we do leave space at the back. That's why we get exploited at times. But it is just not part of the bus. It just isn't. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.